Hello, hello. What's going on, everybody? I see we got some people coming in now. Sorry for the introduction. I know y'all are used to the whole fancy introduction with the music and all that good stuff. Marcus isn't here right now. Dealing with there's some personal matters, so just keep him in your prayers. But Marcus is the brains behind this operation, so I'm just doing what I can to get a little live here going. And today, or as you know, I'm Lambo. This is my buddy S. Dot, aka Sean McNeil, uh, back from my hometown, the 757, and just wanted to come on talk a little bit of draft. I see some more. We got some more people. We got Lamar, also from the 757, tuning in.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir. Join the show, man.
yeah, hey Carrie, hey and yeah, if you wanna hop in, Lamar, let me know, man. Just send me a DM.
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
Yes,
But
sir. And prayers to your boy, man.
yeah, I
Prayers to
appreciate
your
that.
boy. Definitely hope everything goes well. I know it's been rough for everybody, so
Hmm.
definitely wishing the best. What's going on, Carrie?
What's up, man? Yeah, we're just gonna do a little bit of draft talk. Nothing too crazy, nothing specific planned. Just want to talk, get y'all's thoughts. I know this is kind of like Christmas, man. It's like Christmas, like Christmas Eve.
Yes, sir.
I can't sleep on draft Eve.
Man, not at all. That's why I had to hit you up, man, and say, you know what, let's get a little conversation in, man, because there's some things that happened recently too. You know, with Sean Lee retiring, and
Right.
Teddy Bridgewater just got traded, so
Mm.
that might affect what the Cowboys might have on board when it's time for us to pick. So, we can talk a little bit about that too.
He said I gotta do a lot of research. Nah, man, I ain't bringing
We
you
all
on to
do.
be no draft expert or nothing. You just BS with us.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let me know, guys, in the comments. So obviously we're picking at 10. Who's let me know who's y'all's ideal pick at 10. Not who you think we're gonna pick, not who you think is gonna, well, I guess who you think might be there, but who you would like to have. That's what I want to see. I want to see who everybody would like to have.
Mm-hmm. That would be because I think who you would like to have and you know, who our options are at
Mhm.
10. I think it's gonna be different. You know, because well, it really depends. It really depends on what you want because there's a few needs that we got on offense, but they're not many. Maybe one or two. You got depth on offensive line, then you got the tight end spot that you can upgrade. Um, Defense, man, you need help everywhere. Let's be real, you need help everywhere. You gotta have depth at your pass rush. You need big boys up front. You need killers at linebacker. You just lost Sean Lee, and we haven't addressed the safety position. I don't know how
Yep.
long. And corners, you lost Cheeto Awuzie. You re-signed Jordan Lewis, so we need help everywhere.
Yep. You're right. And dang, I just realized I don't know what I did, y'all, but I did not go live from my Cowboys Y'all page. I think I went live from the Cowboys Zone page, and I don't know what other page. I might be live from Marcus's page. I don't know, but it don't look like it went live from my Cowboys Y'all page. So dang, I'm gonna have to share to my page real quick, y'all. That was my mistake. Um, yeah, Horn,
My man
Jack.
Jack knows the
I would
deal.
like, and
My
then we
man
got
Jack
Steven
knows
with
the deal.
Patrick Surtain.
Good. Yep. Yep.
Pitts, but I'll take PS2. I'm kind of there. I'm like Pitts, but I'll take PS2 or Horn or
Yeah.
Slater or Sewell.
I I agree because I see a number of people that are saying Pitts, and if you look at Pitts, he's the best. He's the best prospect in the whole draft. In my book, if you look at everything, he's everything. But do we, can you get by with what you have now? Are you okay with what you have now at tight end? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that's true. And that, I mean, as much as I hate to admit it, the true answer is yes.
I agree.
I love Pitts, and I still want him. I don't care. But Blake Jarwin, I mean, he showed the potential he has before that injury happened. I was so excited about him. I think he would have definitely had the top 5 season, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
And Dalton Schultz, who I've bashed on so many times, completely just surprised the hell out of me this past year. I think from the time he came in to the time he finished, I believe he was somewhere in that top 5 in receiving yards among tight ends, or somewhere along those lines. But so I mean, we're pretty solid overall with Jarwin and Schultz, but Pitts. I mean, it's kind of hard to pass on a guy like him if he slides to 10.
It's kind of like the CeeDee Lamb situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're okay at a position, but you know how you hear Jerry and Steven always talk about picking best player available. If they're going to keep that same energy and Pitts is on the board, they're going to take Pitts. If you're going to keep that same whole best player energy, then I wouldn't be surprised if Pitts is the guy. But like you said, man, Jarwin and Schultz, you know, with them playing right now, it doesn't have me looking at the position and say, okay, I absolutely have to come away with a starter at tight end.
Yeah.
Because I believe there was a game against the Giants. Didn't either Jarwin or Schultz, didn't they have like 2 or 3 touchdowns in that game?
Yeah,
in New York?
I want to say that was week 17 2 years ago.
About 2 years. So, I mean, the talent's there. And, I mean, when you have
3 touchdowns over 100 yards.
You see what I'm saying? So, it's like if you have the talent that we have, as far as from, you know, the running back and receivers, they're going to make the tight end's job a little easier with the kind of coverage that you have to address some of those other weapons. So they're going to make things easier on the tight end. So if we don't come away with Pitts, I'd be okay. Would I like to have him? Yes. But, you know, I've seen quite a bit of people say J.C. Horn. And me and you had a conversation before we went live about how I felt about J.C. Horn, about how his mentality is, you know, how he's got that dog mentality. You know, he's like in your face, violent. Yeah. That's what I want for this defense. I want people all across the board that'll knock your head off.
Right.
You know, linebackers, just everywhere. I want that Darren Woodson kind of defense with Roy Williams back there that we used to have.
Oh, man. I can't.
You know what I mean?
Woo! You know how excited I was. I remember back in the day to the T, sitting at home in Virginia Beach with Sam Brown, watching that draft when we took Roy Williams. And I can't even tell you, man, like how excited we were when we got him.
Yes.
I'm ready for a big safety to come back to Dallas.
And you know what? Roy Williams and Darren Woodson was the last time that we really took the position serious. We went out and got Ken Hamlin for a year or so. I mean, it's been like a whole revolving door. You know what I mean? At the position, it would be nice for us to just say, you know what? Okay, let's get us an impact player. Because I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to disagree with Steven and Jerry about how they feel about the defensive tackle and the safety spot. I want all players all across the defense. You know what I'm saying? Somebody like Earl Thomas, watch them play, or Jamal Adams. Watch them play and tell me the safety position doesn't mean anything.
Yep.
See what I'm saying? So they're in a position that they are. You know, I'm in a position I am. So what do I know?
I mean, one thing I'll say. Let's see. Sorry, I was reading a comment here.
Me too.
As these comments come up, I'm like, is it showing you in the side screen the comments as well?
Yeah, my man Jack is making a lot of sense. I like what he said about if you plug in Slater at that guard spot, just like we were talking about.
Yep. And no, they wouldn't put him at wideout. He would still be a tight end, but they would line him up definitely in the slot and out wide. That's something that he brings. That he's not just going to be your typical tight end. You can line this dude up, and he's going to beat cornerback ones. It's special. I mean, he's a mismatch nightmare. I don't even understand how, like, just the thought of just thinking about Cooper and Lamb in the slot, Gallup out here, and then Pitts. I mean, golly, man.
Like Jerry Jones said, man, you get to dreaming, and then don't forget, if you want to spread all your guys out and cover all those guys, that's fine. We'll just hand the ball off to Zeke and he'll just run it through your face the entire game.
Yep. Now I will say there's a lot of stuff going around though that doesn't look too good for any Cowboys fans that got hopes of Pitts making it, man.
Right.
It ain't looking too good, man.
It ain't happening.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. It ain't happening. It's not happening.
There's lots.
I'm looking at Atlanta at 4. To be honest with you, and they're talking about Julio Jones could possibly be up out of there because of his their salary cap situation. And Julio, I love Julio, absolutely love him, but he's been banged up a little bit. And when we played him last year, he got a wide open touchdown, and that could have sealed the game for him. So you start wondering, you're like, okay, you love Julio, but what can you get for him now that could possibly help me build the rest of my team? Because Falcons, they like us, they need help everywhere. Right. Anytime we came back and beat them from the deficit that we were down by, and the way our season finished, they need help more so than we do. So I'm looking at them possibly looking at getting rid of Julio after June 1st because they said that'll save them $11.5 million on the cap. And if you can get a good haul for him, hey, just saying, man, you gotta think about those things.
Yeah, that's a good point. That brings me to
storylines.
A lot of storylines out there. I mean, I mocked. How long ago was it? We did a mock draft with me and Marcus, and we had a couple other guys on there with us, and we mocked we did our first 10 rounds, and I ended up picking Atlanta to take Pitts at 4, and now it just came out that Atlanta has big time interest in Pitts.
Your boy, you know what I'm saying? That's why I say it's not happening. Sometimes what if it's not? I highly doubt it because you get Pitts, and if you lose Julio, it doesn't sting as bad. You know what I'm saying? So if you go somewhere else and then you don't pick Pitts and you lose Julio. That's you got Calvin Ridley, awesome, but you need more. If you're gonna be competing with teams like Tampa Bay to try to get in the Super Bowl, you're gonna need more than just Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, which is what leads me to think, and it hasn't been a lot of buzz around this yet, but I feel like I'm gonna do my first round draft board tonight. See how many I can try to land on, but I am really tempted to throw Jamar Chase at 4.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you're talking about a few scouts have came out and said he's the best wide receiver prospect since who? Julio.
Yo.
What I mean, that's it. Like, and if they're serious about trading the guy, I would not be surprised if Chase went there. I really wouldn't.
You know what? That's my one of my top 3 favorite players in the draft. Shout out to Italy too. I see we got some people watching from Italy. That's awesome.
What's up, Joe?
But yeah, Jamar Chase, man, he's got everything. Like if you look at the last full season that he had, his numbers were unreal. I love Trayvon Diggs, but if you go back and you turn on the LSU versus Alabama tape and see what he did to Trayvon Diggs, he did what he wanted to do. I love Trayvon. He competed the whole time, which is what you want. But you can tell, like, Chase is just special. And
if that happens, that keeps the hope and the dream alive for a lot of Cowboys fans that are wanting Pitts to slide. That's your first step right there is number 4. That's your first step to this thing actually being realistic.
Yep.
Just like with CD, I was just like, oh, he's going 8 to the Cardinals last year. Then I was like, all right, it was like 11 or 12 to the Raiders. This definitely happened. Ruggs, what? All right, he's going to the Broncos right here. Judy, okay. These guys are tripping because I had Lamb first. But
fell right in our lap. But my man Jeff just made a nice
Jeff,
little
what's up,
comment
bro?
in the section 2. He said that Pitts won't make it past Carolina. Now, the reason why I say it's a possibility because Carolina just traded their quarterback. They just traded Teddy Bridgewater. So now it looks like they could possibly take one of them quarterbacks. I would not be surprised. I don't know which one, but I see them taking one of them quarterbacks, man. I saw that they like J.C. Horn, but after getting rid of Teddy Bridgewater for what you got rid of him for, 6th-round pick, that tells me that they could possibly be looking into a quarterback, man. And they said it could be who was the name I saw? Wilson. I saw Wilson was 2. I think it's Lance. Because he's got the strong arm, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
so
he does.
It's that quarterback with the strong. So I want to say it was Trey Lance, but who knows?
It's gonna be interesting, and yeah, you're probably right, Jeff. I don't see how he makes it past Carolina. Carolina has came out to say recently, or there's a lot of buzz going around. Another storyline, basically, that Carolina is really high on J.C. Horn. If obviously if Pitts is there, I think they go that route. But there is the possibility that Horn goes in the top 10. A lot of teams actually have him hit a Surtain. There's teams that do have him hit a Surtain, and being in the Carolinas, apparently they've had the chance to get real close to him, being a guy that's playing out in South Carolina. So that I've read that they're pretty high on him. And Panthers, their cornerback core is pretty weak right now. So
I saw that. And what scares me about that is, let's just say they take Horn at 8, and let's just say
here's what
another
happened.
team that needs a cornerback jumps in front of Dallas into 9 and takes Surtain.
And you know who it's going to be? Philly. It's going to be Philly.
Losers. I wouldn't even be surprised. They're still in their feelings over the whole CeeDee Lamb situation.
I'm just saying, everybody do not be surprised. If Horn does go at 8, it would not surprise me one bit to see Philly jump to 9 and grab Surtain right in front of us. If that happens, you better hope Sewell, Slater, or Pitts is still on the board, or I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, I think either one of them or Parsons.
Yeah, I would
probably still be on the board.
I am one of the people that is still cool with Parsons at 10.
Yeah, as long as like his off the field stuff checks out, because like I said, I've heard he's a bully and all that stuff. So
right.
And like I was telling you before, I don't think he'll be able to get away with that when you're looking at guys like D-Law in the locker room and all those guys. They're not going to let him get away with that if that's the kind of guy he is. But I can see it happening. But Philly, I mean, they can't get mad at us. They had a chance to get Justin Jefferson and drafted Jalen Reagor. You know what I'm saying? So, but who knows? Anything can happen in the draft, man. That's why the draft is always exciting.
Man, when we got CeeDee Lamb and seeing how mad they were, this warmed my heart. And see, what I thought was going to happen next is the next guy I had on my board was Justin Jefferson, and I was just like, damn, well, Philly's still going to get Jefferson. That's he's going to be good. And then they took Reagor. I started jumping up and down, clapping.
Me too.
Me too. It just hurt Philly twice. It hurt them twice.
Mm-hmm.
They were mad about Lamb, then they were mad about Jefferson. It was a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
But here's something. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, and I hope this does not happen tomorrow. But here's my biggest fear in this entire draft. My biggest fear this entire draft is that, because teams are stupid right now. I see people, or I don't know what the issue is, but Justin Fields isn't getting his respect right now. You got people talking about Mac Jones and Trey Lance are definitely the two guys that could go at 3. I'm like, I don't understand, because I think Fields could possibly be the best quarterback in this draft, even better than Lawrence. And he's gonna slide. If he slides a little bit, I will not be surprised if Washington trades up and grabs him. And if Washington gets Justin Fields we're dealing with a serious team next year in our division because their defense is legit and their wide receiver core is really good right now. It worries me. That worries me.
You know what? I hate to say it, bro, but I see it possibly happening because they got Fitzpatrick right now as a quarterback, and as much as I like Fitz, he's only good until you find somebody to take his place.
And this always happens to Fitz. This would just be a normal occurrence, a yearly occurrence. This happens to Fitz every year.
and that running back that they got, man, Antonio Gibson. Not too many people talk about him. Not too many people talk about him. That kid is gonna be good. That kid is gonna be good. And then they got Curtis Samuel this year from the Panthers already with McLaurin. So all they really need is a quarterback, and they know that. They know that they're not as dumb as they were before. You know what I mean? Like whereas before you can kind of count on them doing something stupid. But Ron Rivera, you know, he's a good football mind, and you know you can already tell the culture there has changed.
Yeah.
So I can see them doing a move now that makes sense versus a couple of years ago. They would probably do something stupid now, and count on them and they're like the Dolphins. The Dolphins, you would always count on them doing something crazy. And now look, they get new management, whatever. Now they're flipping picks and got all kind of picks for the next couple years. So, you know what I mean?
These comments are popping, y'all. Let me go back up here real quick.
Y'all awesome. Caleb Farley. We didn't talk about Caleb Farley. I've seen his name in here.
My guy Marcus, if you're watching, man, respect for you multitasking them screens during our shows at the same time as reading through all these comments. I'm over here
Caleb
struggling.
Farley, he used to be the best cornerback, possibly not even first rounder. Yes, the back. You know what? They asked Jerry Jones about taking, you know, risk in the second round because, you know, he did it with Jalen, and then Sean Lee had his issues. Randy Gregory had his issues. He said he wasn't against taking those kind of risks again. So if both corners are gone in the first round, and let's just say we trade back or we pick maybe Parsons or somebody else at 10, don't be surprised, man. If Farley's on the board at 44, they might do something. They might do something there because you know, the Cowboys. I think they said that they gave him a passing grade on his back. So,
oh really?
I wouldn't rule that out if we don't get one in round one.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Man, there's a lot of. See, here's. I'll come back to this question in just a sec. Here's the reason. There's a reason also when it comes to the whole Pitts thing, where some fans are so divided on that whole situation, where some are like, no, defense only, defense. That's all. You almost feel like some of the fan base would be like, I don't care if it's guy with the second round grade, you take him at 10. Like, it almost seems like people are willing to go that far just for I don't know. I'm not saying there's not a guy worth 10, but there's guys worth 10. But what I'm saying is the reason I feel so comfortable if Pitts were to magically fall to 10 is because of the depth we're talking about at 44 that's going to be there. And the possibility with 2 third-round picks to trade into the back end of the first if we wanted to.
Oh, man.
We got 2 thirds. We can lose a third and trade up to the end of the first and get possibly a Greg Newsome or a Asante Samuel Jr.
Absolutely.
I mean, so I mean, there's some guys, there's some talent. And Kelvin Joseph he's a talent at 40 that could be there at 44. There's gonna be some good safety talent too in that range, man. Look, Cowboys actually.
Elijah Molden and one other one. I think they did some research on
Javon Holland and Elijah Molden.
So
Cowboys done deep dives per fish reports on those two. So I mean, those are free safeties right there in the NFL.
And there's another one that they love too. Was it Morig, the kid from TCU?
Yep. So that's a trade back candidate right there.
That's a trade back candidate. So if it's a situation where the corners and maybe let's just say the corners are gone, but there's still a number of people that you like on the board, Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind trading back a little bit, but not too far.
Yeah. If
But
your corners are gone and your tackle, your O linemen are gone, I could definitely see a situation. First of all, there's going to be a quarterback probably there, so we're going to have some trade partners
Mhm.
wanting to move up, and that would make perfect sense. Get the best safety in the draft after a trade back, pick up a couple extra picks, and then just kill it in the second and third rounds.
That's where
Um,
you need to do your damage right there, because we got
mhm.
10 draft picks. I don't think like the probability of all 10 draft picks making the team are highly unlikely. So you need to find a way to make every single one of them work. I don't want, be
Yeah,
honest with you, bro. I don't want somebody like in 7th round or gets mine in the 6th round. It's like, oh, well, they had a 7th round grade on, we got them in the 6th. No. I don't
yeah,
want that this year, dude. I want, even if we got to trade, the 6th, 7th rounders to move up in round 2 or 3 to get somebody in the top 100, go do it. Go do it. I'm not saying trade the whole farm or anything like that, but you need to make these 10 picks work. You know what I
yep.
mean? You need to be sliding around that draft board, and you need to be getting playmakers.
I
You know what
agree.
I'm saying? You got your scouts there for a reason. You pay them for a reason. So I want violence. When it comes to defense, I want violence within the confines of the rules, obviously.
Yeah,
But
you need that dog. You need them dogs, man.
I want pure violence. Absolutely. Like if you look at some of those teams that have good defenses, you know what I mean? It looks like they're having fun. Like Seattle from back in the day. Like if you go across the middle, somebody's gonna knock your block off. And
Right.
then you hear the whole crowd, ooh, you know what I'm saying? Then you just see them all jumping and having fun and all that stuff. I
Yeah,
guarantee you, man, if
it
if
pumps
we
the team up.
if we can get some kind of defense like that with our offensive talent, man, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. But
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm gonna be upset if we don't focus on defense.
Yeah, for sure. And Joe, to answer your question, that one is kind of tough for me because I'm gonna be honest. All right, I think there's a chance Slater goes to hit first in this draft to hit a Sewell, and that he's the better guy. But here's the thing, like Marcus has said many times, he actually projects to be a better guard, possibly than a tackle. Slater does. I think he's a good tackle, a good solid tackle in this league. But if you plug him in at left guard, Slater is Zach Martin 2.0 on your left side. I think he is an all-pro left guard. So Slater instantly comes in. Connor Williams, you ain't got to worry about him getting shoved around and pushed back no more. Slater is going to be an all-pro at that left guard spot. But Sewell he has the talent and the ability, I think, to play all 5 spots on the offensive line. So that's very helpful, especially if the injury bug hits and you got a guy that can really jump in on any spot in that line and help improve it. That's a tough choice at 10, but if they're both sitting there.
Yeah.
That'll be crazy if both of them are sitting there at 10. I
I
don't
know.
know.
I doubt. You
But
know what? I saw somebody made a comment that they believe Jamar Chase is going to go to the Bengals with Joe
matchup.
Burrow. I think they're going to take one of those offensive linemen because Joe Burrow's knee got wrecked last year. You know what I'm saying? And that was only his rookie year. So you need to fix that problem now. You need to go ahead and fix that now before it gets worse. So I see them most likely taking Sewell, or depending on who they like, better out of the two. You can't go wrong with either one. But I see them taking one of those linemen only because of what happened to Joe last year. You keep Joe healthy. Joe was starting to do his thing with Higgins and them boys. Like they were starting to get together. And what was it, Tyler Boyd? They were making it work, man. It was just that injury just happened. So we'll see what happens. Do you see the defensive end from Michigan falling? Quiddy? Was it Quiddy? Quiddy Pay? I think that's his name.
Yeah.
I can see him close to 44. Him and Gregory Russo from the defensive end from Miami. I can see them maybe on the board.
Yeah. Quiddy Pay's been mocked to us by, I think, Daniel Jeremiah. I want to say mocked Quiddy Pay to us. I will say I'm not I don't like none of the edge rushers in this draft at 10.
Yeah.
I'm cool on a trade back, but at 10 I'm kind of sour. I'm gonna be a little sour about it.
At 10, I need a plug and play starter right now.
Yeah.
I need somebody that's going to come on the field and start for the Cowboys. So the only position that you can really look at and say, okay, what's a position that somebody can come in and start right away? You automatically think secondary.
Mm-hmm.
You can use a starter at safety, and you can use a starter at cornerback. Or maybe one of those guards. But even though Connor Williams had his bad moments, I'm very harsh on Connor Williams. He also had some good moments, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, because that run that Dak had against Seattle in the playoffs where he got flipped into the on the 1 yard line and didn't quite score. If you go back and look at that play, him and I want to say Lyle Collins, they both made the best blocks to spring that run. So it's like with Connor Williams, you see glimpses here and there, but the very next 3 plays, he'll get pushed back. You know what I'm saying? So it's I want to see what
his own
happens
against the bull rush.
Right. So I mean, I kind of want to give him another year because I see improvements here and there, and with some players, it takes a little longer to show up than some others. But I wouldn't mind giving Connor Williams another chance. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody will be back healthy too. He'll have Tyron next to him. Have the young boy Tyler Badiash hopefully starting at center. Zach Martin will be back, and Lyle Collins. So the gang will be back, and the rookie from Wisconsin, Badiash, second year, played awesome last year when he was on the field. So I predict him to be a starter.
Yeah.
So
I think so.
I think we can make it work.
And it'll be exciting to get Randy Gregory solid for a whole season.
Man.
I still feel like we haven't seen his full potential, and I think we're going to see it this year. Hopefully, now that he can't pop no weed tests.
Right. And what's crazy is even last year, he was our most consistent pass rusher.
So see.
When he got on the field, he was our most consistent pass rusher because Aldon Smith, the beginning of the season went good, and then he kind of slowly but surely mellowed out. D-Law, he was okay in the beginning, and he started to pick it up later on. D-Law was like, fuck this shit. You know what I mean? I'm about to go ham now. And then just, did what he was supposed to do. But if you look at Randy Gregory, man, Randy Gregory was constantly in the backfield. You know what I mean? Hitting quarterbacks or getting a sack or making shit happen on a consistent basis. And that's why they picked him. With the pick 44, I believe it was, or something like that, second round. That's why they picked him, because they knew what they could get if he's able to get everything together. Yeah, and I think I think we're gonna see something special. We're gonna see something special from him this year. And hopefully we get a big defensive tackle. Big defensive tackle. I want to come away with maybe even Christian Barmore.
Yeah.
He could be an option too. So.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Who do you have a guy that you're number one, the guy that you want that you would be most ecstatic? Like last year, actually, CeeDee Lamb was that one guy that I was wanting more than anybody in the draft, but thought there was absolutely zero chance. So I didn't even try mocking him there. I didn't do any of that. But CeeDee Lamb was the one guy I wanted more than anybody, and we actually got him. Do you have that one guy that you want more than anyone in the draft?
I got a couple, man. I really do, because if you really look at the team, we got holes where we could use some talent. So if you get me J.C. Horn, if you get me Patrick Surtain, if you get me Kyle Pitts, any one of those three, those guys are coming in. They're starting for you immediately. Micah Parsons, he would come in and get a lot of playing time for you now with his speed. You know what I mean? He could be a good blitzing linebacker for you. So I mean, those are a few guys right there. To be honest with you, if any of those names got called, I'd be happy with it. Now there are some names that if they get called, I'd be pissed off about.
Yeah, I got a few.
You know what I mean?
Mostly edge rushers.
Yep, the edge rushers, or
that's just too early for edge. It's too early for safety. It's too early for
defensive tackle.
Defensive tackle's too early. I mean, really, it's too early for pretty much. I mean, it's got to. The only option I can see at 10 is cornerback, linebacker, tight end, wide receiver. And obviously wide receiver is least likely, but it depends on what they're thinking about with the future. Because I ain't going to be pissed if Jalen Waddle's the pick. I mean, this is a guy that could stretch a defense like we haven't had in a long time. That over-the-top guy that really opens things up. And if you can trade – I mean, that's assuming you're trading Michael Gallup. Because you're probably going to lose him next year.
I don't want to lose my man MG, man. You know what?
I feel like we're going to lose him next year. And you know what's going to happen? We're going to lose him for nothing because we didn't take advantage of the trading him ahead of time. And all we're going to get is a comp pick back that we have to wait 2 years on. That kind of sucks. But
I love MG, man.
I like him too.
I absolutely love him.
I got to meet him. He's an awesome dude.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, you look at some of the routes that they have him run. It seems like it's just a lot of go routes. He just runs a lot of go routes, and I'm like, yo, if they widen my man's tree and let him run some ends and all that stuff, like, man, that's why I wouldn't even mind if Amari is the one.
Oh, not me. I can't.
I like Amari. Don't get me wrong.
I think he's still 26, going on 27 with like 5 1,000-yard seasons under the belt.
And ever since he came to the team, he's been better. But
he was even last year, 1,100 yards with 4 receivers.
Right, but the only reason why I'm saying that is because I'm forced to pick one.
Yeah. See, my fear. I guess my fear is I feel like the way the market is right now, Gallup's probably gonna warrant about $14 million a year. That'll be about $6 million less than Cooper if that is the case. I don't feel like that $6 million difference a year is enough for me to get rid of a true wide receiver one that draws those double teams. It's just it's tough because I feel like Cooper is much harder to replace than Gallup is to replace. As much as I do like Gallup.
Right. Well, one of the only reasons why I would pick Gallup over Coop in this situation is the medical. Coop he's had some issues with his foot, and he's has more of an injury past than MG has. So if we're going on that, I want to go with the guy that has less wear and tear on his body, that has maybe more to give, than. And don't get me wrong, I love Amari Cooper too. Was I pissed when we gave up the first for him? Yes, because I feel like we could have got him for a lot less. But was I happy when I saw the result? Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely, because he was better than any receiver that was in the draft, and we needed a receiver at the time, so it worked out good.
It did. And Eagles, they swooped in and offered that second. So Cowboys were like, okay, we either let him go to the Eagles or we give up that first, which thankfully it turned out to be a late first anyway. So it's definitely worth it. Jack Meeker said something a little while ago. Now this, I'm not sounding like Chris Collinsworth. Now here's a guy. Now here's a guy I love at 44.
Hey, Jack, they need to get you in the war room, my man. They need to sign you up, get you a job, man. Love it. I love it. Nick Bolin, violence. That's the word I was saying earlier. And that's the guy that brings it, man. That's a Nick Bolin.
Lee's gone. Joe Thomas is gone. LVE's injury prone. And Jalen has been up and down. I mean, you get me a Nick Bolton, man, I'm going to feel a lot better about the next couple of years and a lot more safe. I feel a lot more good about it, He's one of those guys. So it's kind of like you got tiers. You got your day 2 hopefuls, and then you got obviously your first round hopefuls. I'm with you in the sense that at 10, I mean, I'm ecstatic for Pitts, Sewell, Slater, Horn, Surtain, Waddle. I'd be any of those Parsons. That's pretty much any one of those. I'm gonna be ecstatic for it. When it comes to round 2, I got a lot of guys actually in round 2, man. I got a lot of guys in round 2.
Me too. But you know what? Out of all you named a good amount of guys, and one of those guys is going to be on the board when the Cowboys pick, because what was about that was about 5 or 6 guys that you named right there. And we haven't even mentioned the quarterbacks. And you know there's going to be about 4 of them that's going to go, maybe even 5 before we pick. So there's going to be one of those names that's going to be there.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't.
If I could remember how to screen share, I would do a mock right now just to see how it played out. But I can't remember how to do it. I usually have Marcus do it.
We can figure out a way to do it.
But
somehow, some way. But
there's one scenario in which this happens. Well, no, it still left Parsons. I did a scenario 2 days ago, and I got bashed for it actually on my page by a few people. Said they couldn't take me serious. And then the funniest thing, Jane Slater posted the same scenario today, and now it's like, okay. Well, I could see that. I'm like, man, come on.
Like, where was the energy when I said it? You know what I'm saying? Y'all just like Jane Slater.
I'm crazy when I say it.
Right.
Jane says it, and it's like, yeah, that makes sense. Now, I'm not saying it's a very likely scenario. This is probably like your 15-20% chance, but you still got to account for it and plan for it just in case. I mean, there is if you think Pitts can go to 4 to Atlanta, okay, that's Pitts. Obviously, you got the Bengals. Yes, they could go Chase, but like you said, our dude was getting, beat to death.
Yeah, I got his rookie card, so you know I was upset when he got hurt, man.
There's
autographs and everything.
There's Sewell or Slater right there. We'll say Sewell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we got Pitts and Sewell gone. Who we got next? Dolphins, I believe. You got a young quarterback. If you want to give them a chance, they could also go Chase, but there is the chance that they could take Slater.
Mm-hmm.
There is that chance. So you say they take Slater. Okay, so now there's our 2 linemen gone, and there's Pitts gone. We got now in most people's minds, the cornerbacks are the guys right now.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina's expressed interest at Horn. If he goes at 8, Horn's gone. At 9, Broncos could actually take Surtain. That would not be out of this world. They could take Surtain, but what could really happen is Philly could trade up ahead of us to 9 and take Surtain.
I see it happening, dude.
Because they do have interest in him, and they've expressed interest in trading up. And that would be a Philly thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if that happens, our 2 corners are gone, the 2 offensive linemen gone, and Pitts is gone. Parsons is left there, and outside of him, I don't know, maybe Joke from the 757, our local dude. I would trade back for him. I would take him at 10, but I mean that would completely suck the wind out of us.
Yeah, that would suck. I mean, then in my eyes, Dustin, what up, brother? In my eyes, you either take Parsons or you trade back. Trade back and get the safety from TCU because apparently they love him. When I saw the Fish report, they love him. So, you know, you can probably get him late teens. I would say late teens, early 20s. I know that'd be kind of far, but if we're talking about getting a safety, if that's the guy you want, you can probably get him around there. And then you'll probably gain 2 or 3 extra picks. But then at that point, you Farley might be your pick at 44 then.
Yep. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
If that crazy scenario happens, and it kind of goes along with this question right here, yeah, me personally would be okay with Parsons, because also the linebacker issues that we discussed a little bit ago. I mean, yeah, we got Francis Bernard, but we still don't know who he is. He didn't play literally any snaps on defense, I believe, last year, maybe 1 or 2. It was very, very small. You got Luke Gifford, who's been injury prone, who has potential, but you still don't know what you have in him either. I mean, and you lost the vets in Joe Thomas and Sean Lee. LVE can't stay on the field, and you don't know which Jalen's going to show up. Like, I mean, linebacker is a bigger issue than people think. It really is.
So yeah, I'd be okay with Parsons also. And to add on with LVE, like we were saying before, they don't even know whether they're going to pick up the 5th-year option. They said, well, let's wait until after the draft to address that. So
that's what I'm saying.
They might end up taking a linebacker.
That right there tells you that linebacker is going to happen at the latest in the 3rd round. At the latest, it's going to happen between those 4 picks we have in the first 3 rounds, one of those is going to be linebacker.
I agree.
Now, there's so many good. I'd take Nick Bolton at 44. Oh my goodness, I'd take
That other Notre
Jabril
Dame
Cox in the
linebacker,
3rd.
the what's the dude with the hyphenated name? Jeremiah like Kawusu. I
Yeah,
forgot his name.
I can't pronounce his name, so I'll call him J-O-K.
Yes, yeah.
You know he's from 757, right?
I did.
He is from the 757.
Yo,
so
he would be a good pick too.
Yeah,
that'd be a nice little connection.
Now he's from the 757 too, because anybody that's from the 757 makes it a point to tell everybody in the world that when they get the chance to talk to people. And he said that on his interview. I think it was, I want to say it was NFL Network, or I can't remember where it was. I was watching it. They was interviewing him. One of the first things he said was, he said something about his mentality, and he said, well, I'm from 757, so
different, man.
Yeah. So
that's what he's trying to say. Because if you look at some of the savages that we've had, from Bruce Smith,
Michael Vick, Bruce Smith, Allen
Iverson, Pernell Whitaker,
Cam Chancellor.
It's like Cam Chancellor. Yeah, so it's like
the list goes on. Percy Harvin.
There's so many of them. You know what I mean? We just had a defensive tackle from the Chiefs that won the Super Bowl not too long ago. He's from 757. So it's like they're savages all in sports and in music from where we are.
Yeah, the moment I found out that, I know it's a little biased, but I don't know. It just made me feel good about him. He's a guy that I would actually not be mad at 10, because I think he could possibly be the best linebacker in the draft. I would not be mad about him if it wasn't Parsons, and I would definitely be okay with him in a trade back. So
I saw a stat. It was on Twitter somewhere, and they said people like guarding receivers in the slot, he graded as one of the top in the entire nation. That's like including cornerbacks and linebackers. So that tells me how athletic he is.
Yeah.
Because if you're able as a linebacker, because when you're dealing in a slot, obviously, you know what I'm saying, you're dealing with more space that you got to guard these receivers. If you're dealing with somebody on the outside, you can use the sideline to your advantage.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're dealing with the slot, they can go left, they can go right, boom, boom, anywhere. So if you got a linebacker that's able to shut that down, man, I wouldn't mind that at all, man. I wouldn't mind that at all. You get the quarterback to hold the ball on just a little bit longer to give D-Law and Randy a chance to get there. That's what you want. That's what you try to draft. You try to draft somebody that's going to make everybody on the defense better. And I think he would be able to do that.
Yeah, I agree. And then going back to the cornerbacks here, I do want to bring up what Peter Schrager from NFL Network, something he had mentioned. I wanted to bring up related to J.C. Horn that I found pretty interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So he posted on Twitter, Cowboys at 10. Surtain and Horn could both be on the board. Slater with a great nugget on Good Morning Football. She said Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy coached J.C. Horn's father, Joe Horn, for many years in New Orleans, which I forgot about. Dan Quinn, our new defense coordinator, also has a strong relationship with South Carolina head coach Will Muschamp. So, that's, at first I really did feel like Surtain was the kind of the lead guy in the Cowboys' mind, just off of information floating around and things like that. But the more that comes out, I'm really starting to feel like Horn could have the edge if available, and if both those guys are there. Another thing was they said Mike McCarthy said we want to be more aggressive, play more man than zone, and it's no secret that Surtain was a better zone player in college, but one of the strengths of J.C. Horn was his man coverage, his press man. So if I had to guess who we was going to try to select a couple weeks ago, I probably would have thought Surtain. But tomorrow, I believe I'm going to put J.C. Horn down on my board at 10 for who I think the Cowboys pick.
I think so too, but I think I wouldn't be surprised at either one of those because they asked Jerry too in the press conference if you have like a father or somebody that played football in the family, does it make a difference? And he immediately was like, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So if you're
Which keeps both
reading,
of them in consideration.
right, so if you're reading anything and do that, and I try to pick up like on how people respond or what people's body reaction is when they're asked certain questions, just like little things like that. So if in an ideal world, I think Jerry wants both of them on the board, and I wouldn't even be surprised if he slides back maybe one spot. If both of them are still on the board, maybe slide back a spot or two. Maybe just one, not two, just one, because you might lose them both. Maybe just slide back one, and whoever it takes, just take the other one. But
Yeah. Whew, man, I was gonna say something that just slipped my mind completely. Dang.
You might need another drink, brother. I got some Crown over here. I'm about to get into it.
Is it Crown Apple? I love
it is. Hold on, give me some seconds. Like I said, man, it's finna be a party, dog. We got some nice views in here, man. We finna this draft Eve, dog. You know what I'm saying?
757. I know you had Crown Apple.
Yes, sir. All right.
Jeff, you still watching? Hit me up in the comments if you're still watching.
Oof.
We still got Milton in here.
Haven't had it yet. Go find it.
I knew it was Crown Apple. I already knew.
I'm telling you, man. Awesome.
Could move back and get Collins. Yeah, me and Sean was talking about that before we went live.
My man Milton been dropping gems throughout this whole broadcast, dog. My man, I swear, me and him think alike. That's exactly what I was telling Lambo. I said, get your guy at 10. Yeah. And I think Fish was probably saying the same thing. Trade up. You got 10 picks. So take that pick that you got in the second round with third, 41, 42, something like that. It's one of those thirds that you got or fourth. Go back up, get Zayvon Collins. He's long like LVE. He's another LVE. If those are kind of linebackers you want, go get you another one, and then go get you a safety with that other third round pick that you got because you got two of them. So go get the safety. Was it Darius Washington or something like that, or Elijah Molden? One of them.
If you're not scared about his size, which I'm not, because he's a ball hawk and he's smart. I mean, he can position himself to be in the right place at the right time. I'm not going to knock the guy for a couple inches. I mean, Tyrann Mathieu isn't the biggest dude in the world, and he's one of the best safeties in the entire league right now. So
they need to stop with that whole need to be big kind of thing. They stop.
Yeah. The funny thing is some of these 5'9", 5'10" dudes and stuff like that have a higher vertical than some of the 6', 6'1" dudes. Like, I mean, if you're vertical, you can still get up. A lot of these guys can still get up. They may be shorter, but they can still get up.
I mean, the thing is, and my man Dustin just left a comment about Monte Casey, who we picked up, about him being small.
Exactly. So that leaves the door open for Darius Washington if they're willing to bring him in.
Right. And the thing is, like, and I get it. People are like, well, we remember Zeke running him over in the end zone. You know what I'm saying? People remember that.
But also before he got hurt.
But before he got hurt, didn't he have a league leading like 10 interceptions?
Yeah, 2018, I believe.
Yeah, it was 18 or 19. My man had
between like 7 to 10 or something like that. He led the league though. Yeah.
And if you ask any Cowboy fan that knows what they're talking about, turnovers have been a problem on this team for I don't know how long. We did a little better last year. Trayvon Diggs knows how to attack the ball. I absolutely love it.
Trayvon would have had a few more if he didn't drop them. Like
So Trayvon Diggs is one of the only cornerbacks. Well, yeah, probably the only cornerback that we've had recently that actually looked for the ball. Because I can't tell you how many times Cheeto would be outside and we'd be yelling, turn around and look for the ball. He'd be right there. We're like, turn around and look for the ball. And then the receiver would make an amazing catch, like literally right there. And if Cheeto would just turn around,
I know
Cheeto would have a couple picks.
Cheeto was like, I'm kind of scared he's going to be a badass corner over there in Cincy because he was always where he needed to be, and he was a great athlete. He's fast as hell, but he didn't turn his head around. Like, I mean,
who also that reminds you of? Love him to death.
Byron?
Sticky in coverage, but bingo. Love him. Sticky coverage, dog. Athletic, but the only interception that we had was one that was tipped way in the air that he ran back against Washington. It was tipped way in the air. That was the only one. So, we have to find a way to get our offense the ball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At 10, no quarterback. No quarterback at 10. Absolutely not.
I think
I don't see any reason for a quarterback at 10. Anytime I see us get
I don't think he means for us. Or correct me if you're wrong. I think he's saying when we're sitting at 10, do we prefer a quarterback to be sitting on the board so that it gives that
I would love it.
That could go two ways, because if there's none, then that means there might have been 4 or 5 picked ahead of us that shoved guys up, maybe. But if there's one sitting there, that also gives us a lot of trade partners.
My apologies.
I like one on the board.
I got you. My apologies. I misunderstood your question. That would be nice. That would be nice if somebody gives you a call and say, you know what, I'll give you a first next year. Depends on how far you guys slide back, though. Because the further you slide back, the chances of you getting that violent player that we need is less and less likely. You can still find them, but now you got to start digging a little more. So I don't want us to drop too far.
I'll tell you, if Justin Fields is sitting there at 10 and Patriots offer us 15 to move up to 10, but they also give us a second on top of it, I might pull that trigger.
Yeah.
We're going to lose out on our corners.
Yeah.
We're going to have to watch Philly take one of our corners. Our corners are going to be gone. But like I said, you're going to if I have 2 seconds and I only have to move back 5 spots, we could still get our 757 guy, Joke, or we could get the best safety in the draft, come back in the second round, land possibly a Farley, possibly a Samuel, possibly a Joseph, possibly a Eric Stokes. There's so many corner depth in this draft that you can get in the second round. You'll be able to, and then we'll be able to, you could possibly get the best, one of the top 2 defensive tackles in the draft with that second pick. And then you have 2 in the third.
Yep.
So if I'm trading back 5 spots and I can have a first, 2 seconds, and 2 thirds, man, that's some big time talent, man. I don't know.
And don't you have another one in the fourth too? Won't you have 2 4th-round picks? I want to say we got 2 in the third. I want to say because we got 4 extra picks altogether.
We might.
So I want to say there's another one in the fourth as well. I want to say we got 2 of them.
Before I forget, going back to when this is way off, but going back to when you said the positive notes that Jones has said about those with fathers that played in the NFL. There's a guy that's been on my radar that nobody's talked about. So I'm figuring we're live. I better bring him up because, it's like throwing a dart at the wall and hoping it sticks. But if it happens, I look like a genius. So I'm going to go ahead and say it just so I have it recorded.
Mm-hmm.
Blake Prohl. If I don't know if anybody remembers this unless they're real old school. There's a Cardinals had a wide receiver. Cardinals was throwing out division, I believe, when this dude played. Ricky Prohl. Ricky Prohl's son, Blake Prohl, plays for ECU, Eastern Carolina University, and he's like 6'1", 6'1", about 195. He runs a 4.3, and he had to literally the guy has kind of gone unnoticed, but like if you watch some of his tape. He has got the most sure hands, some of the most sure hands in this entire draft. But he's someone that's definitely going to slide and be there probably in like that round 5 range. Yeah, round 5, round 6. He's one of those guys that he's like the prototypical Belichick draft pick. He's the guy that Belichick picks and turns into Wes Welker. Like he's like so. He's a guy to keep an eye on if y'all hear his name pop up somewhere and towards the end of the draft or next season, it just comes out of nowhere and they're like, Blake Prohl, this is Ricky's son. Like, I just need to throw it out there because I think he's gonna be solid, but everybody's sleeping on him.
Oh yeah, I remember Ricky. Ricky played with didn't he play with the Rams for a little bit too?
He might have.
When Kurt Warner was there?
I think he did.
I want to say it was Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, and I want to say Ricky Prohl was in there. With Marshall Faulk out the backfield. Yeah, I want to say he was. I want to say he was there. Dustin gave us a scenario. He said, let's say Chicago calls with pick 20 and 52 and next year first. or Pats, they call you with 15 and 46. Which scenario do you take? I like that next year first. That next year first, man, because if you look at Chicago's team, quarterback inconsistent, running back's okay, defense is all right. Where are they picking this year? They're picking 20. So I would explore that, man, because you know how much the Joneses, they love their draft capital too. So yeah, that's something that you might have to take a look at, man.
I had to go ahead and throw the draft they had on. I ain't been wearing it.
I didn't get one, man. I'm over here slacking on my game. I got the old school one when I went to. I got this from Jerry World when I went to watch Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia fight. I had to go to the shop. I had to get a hat from Jerry World. So yeah, I made sure I held on to this, man. It's right from home base.
Man, so we're an hour in. I'll probably stay on another like 15, 20 minutes, and then hop off here, get in there, watch some TV with the wife and stuff. But stick around here for a little bit. If y'all got any questions, give us some questions. I mean, let's keep this chat popping.
Yeah, appreciate you, Milton, my man. Say you guys are on top of the game. We appreciate it, man. This is actually the first time me and Lambo have done this, man. I hit him up earlier on Facebook. I said, "You at work?" He said, "Yeah, I'm working." I said, "I just want to talk some Cowboys with you real quick since we got a draft tomorrow," and we set it up, man. So it ended up working out good. So hopefully I'll be able to come up here and talk some Cowboys with you guys in the future.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've tuned in before. If you haven't, normally I also have my co-host on here, Marcus. He's out right now, but he's
much love, brother.
Yeah. I don't know which YouTube you're commenting from. If it's his, it's Bluff City Cowboys. If it's my YouTube, it's Cowboys Y'all. But I do appreciate it if you haven't, just subscribe, and if you're on my page, Cowboys Y'all, subscribe to his as well, Bluff City Cowboys, and vice versa. Really appreciate it, man, and hope to see you tuning in and our coming episodes in the future and stuff. So
man, Lamar,
this
20 years in the making, Lamar. Yeah,
man, we was all sitting at Brandon Middle School at one point, just sitting at the lunch table eating chicken sandwich with some. I was at the breakfast table eating my chicken biscuit with some grape jelly. We was probably sitting here talking about Dexter Coakley
and wrestling and WWF, what Stone Cold Steve Austin did to Vince McMahon. You know what I mean? On Monday Night Raw.
Who were we?
Attacked him in the hospital and hit him with a big hand.
So Sean, we had going off topic. If y'all don't care, me and Sean at our schools that we grew up in, it was in Brandon when we had the crazy DX versus NWO war, didn't it? Yeah, we was on like the news. We were on the news because so many people was getting hurt and beat up. Because we had two gangs started. We had the Wolfpack, and we had DX, and wrestling was at the height of the best times, man. And we were DX, weren't we? Both of us.
We were DX.
We still whip up on burying them.
I was X-Pac, man, and I remember the principal getting on announcements and saying, "We know what's going on with this wrestling games that you guys are doing. Anybody caught is gonna be suspended." And me and you were looking at each other in class like, "Hey, go catch us."
I remember us walking.
I work in the bathroom.
I remember us walking. Barry was walking in the bathroom one time. I remember it was like 10 of us in DX, and man, we just stomping them down like everybody.
He was so mad at me. Shout out to my brother, man. Barry, that's my best friend. That's my day one. He was so angry with me, yo. He was like, "We're going to the water park." He invited like a whole bunch of mutual friends. He was like, "We're going to the water park. You can't go." God damn, man, dog. I wanted to go. So he was really upset with me. But now we can kind of go back and laugh about it because that time was when wrestling was at his top, man. You got DX, you got Stone Cold, and then you turn to Channel, you got WCW, and you got Sting coming down from the rafters with a black bat, beating up all, Hulk Hogan and the whole NWO. So, it was awesome back then, man.
It was fun. Oh, sweet. So I might bring on Jay Tuck might be hopping on a little bit to join us. He's the host of Cowboys Fans Only and Cowboys writer for the Fan Network. Real cool dude. You'll like him. Hopefully you can get a chance to hop on here.
I love like especially this time of the year, man. I just like getting together. You just give me a few Cowboy fans like you, the ones that we got in the chat. Let's chop it up and talk some football, and let's see what we got, man. You know,
Yeah.
see what's popping.
It's fun. Like I ain't gonna be able to sleep tonight anyway. I mean, I can't. I mean, I will, but like I won't get much sleep. I'll be sitting in bed all night. It don't matter. I'll be sitting in the pitch black. It'd be like one of those memes where you're laying next to your girl and you got your back turned to her, and then she's like, I bet he's talking to other women, and then the dude's mind, he's just like, who we picking at number 10?
Right.
That's
It's like I wonder if Kyle Pitts is gonna be there at 10.
well, Kyle Pitts
You know
be
what
there
I'm saying?
at 10. That's gonna be me on that because
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. But I really think that scenario with Philly, I hate to say it. I really, really hate thinking, but I think if Carolina takes J.C. Horn at 8, you're going to see a trade up, pick 9. They're going to take Surtain.
So here's my hope, man, because I'm going to go ahead on a limb and say that I feel like 70% sure. That's a pretty high percentage. I feel about 75% sure that Philly is definitely 100% trading ahead of us to snack a corner. So my hope is that one of them still makes it to 10, because I think Pitts is gone at 4. So
Yeah.
I do kind of want a corner at 10. And I like both of them, so I'd be cool with either.
But dog, the thing
I
is,
really feel like Philly's getting one.
we kind of
They're
cornered
trading up.
ourselves in this draft too, because it's no secret the Cowboys need corner. Like the whole league knows it. So it's like you kind of know the Cowboys are going to take one on the corner. So if you need corner, it's no secret. It's like, all right, if we fall, we'll just dump Dallas and grab one of them.
Yeah.
So like it's that's what bothers me. It's like obvious needs that we have. Whereas before, you really didn't know. We would fill our needs, and it's like, okay, best player available. You don't know who we're going to pick. So it's like now you know Dallas needs a corner, and you know they would love to have one of them. So that's the uneasy feeling that I have.
Yeah. Let me DM him that link real quick, just in case he can join in.
All right, so we got 2 third-round picks, 2 4th, and 2 6s. Damn, it's a lot of draft capital. My people. We need to find a way to make it work, man, and not draft 10 players. Sorry, I don't want 10 players. 10 players aren't going to make this team.
Right.
Even if we come away with 6, if you come away with 6 game change, or they all won't be game changers. Let me take that back. If you just give me 5 or 6 solid players, that will be the best draft that we've had in a while. You know what I'm saying? Other than maybe the one with Dak and Zeke and Jalen.
Nah, I can't do it, man. I can't.
If we know
there's no way I can give up my 3 for one spot. I can't do it.
That's
no
tough,
way.
Jack.
Shit, I ain't even giving up my 4th to move up one spot. That's just being honest. Like because I feel like there's gonna be a talent at 10.
I'm very leery about giving up a top 100 pick.
Yeah.
And we got 4 of them. Those 1, 2, and the 2 3s. Those are top 100 picks. Like I'm very, very nervous about giving those up, man.
Okay. You're on Bluff City Cowboys. He's my co-host. He's not here today. He's doing he's got personal family stuff going on. But yeah, mine, I really appreciate it as well. It's Cowboys Y'all. Cowboys Y'all. We got Facebook pages as well. Bluff City Cowboys and Cowboys Y'all. We do our show. Usually we're not doing it tomorrow, but we do it every Thursday normally. It's called the Cowboy Zone. But you'll be able to see that stream from all of our pages. So you should be able to find it. Hopefully if you type in Cowboys Y'all, or even if you type in the Cowboy Zone, it'll probably pop up one of our episodes, and then from my page that I stream from. So hopefully you can find it there. It's actually youtube.com/Cowboys Y'all. I forgot about that.
Make sure y'all like, subscribe. Both pages.
Definitely.
Both of them. Bluff City and Cowboys Y'all. And if you're a boxing fan, shout out to Your Boxing Fix.
Yeah, tell them about.
Instagram.
Go ahead. Give them let them know about your boxing
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, man. And for all my fans of the sweet science, Instagram, Your Boxing Fix, Twitter, Your Boxing Fix, and we're on Facebook as well. We got content, we got news, clips, all that stuff. So make sure you guys check me out. Make sure you guys check me out. Your Boxing Fix.
Speaking of boxing, let's go off topic real quick. How about that Floyd Mayweather matchup with Logan? What's his name?
Logan Paul.
Paul. Wow,
I mean,
they're trying to get that money's what it is, but I'm interested.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not even mad. Like, you got a lot of people that are pissed off about it. You know what? Boxing, there's two sides to it, right? There's the side for the people like myself who watch every fight, and know, what's going. And then there's an entertainment side. There's an entertainment side. Like, Max Kellerman put it perfect. He was like, if there's four corners, right? Your street, you got four corners. And there's maybe a baseball game over here, football game over here, and maybe a hockey game over here, and there's a fight over here. You're most likely going to the fight. You're most likely gonna check out the fight. So, it's people enjoy a good fight. So if you watch boxing, there's celebrities there. They're important people watching. So there's an entertainment side too, and you got to keep those people happy. You got to keep the money coming in. So there's room for both. You know what I mean? Jake Paul, Logan Paul, they're getting people to talk about them. They're doing their thing, and you know me, man. I don't hate on anybody. Anybody that's trying to do their thing, I don't hate on absolutely nobody.
Yep. And anybody that's watching, don't be dropping off, y'all, because my buddy J Tuck from Cowboys Fans Only, Cowboys writer for the Fan Network, is about to hop on within the next 10 minutes. So stay tuned. Unexpected surprise.
We're gonna give y'all some memorable draft talk, man. We're gonna drop some gems on y'all, and y'all been dropping some gems for us. We're dropping some good questions and some good scenarios, man. We appreciate y'all. My man said, how crazy would it be if CB on the board and they pick Parsons? How would you feel about that, bro?
Me personally, and Marcus too, because when we did our first mock of the year, we both picked Parsons, and we did a draft show and had like 5-6 people on. We were the only two to say Parsons. Everybody else was like Surtain. There was a Horn, and there was a Slater, a few other things, but not like everybody was disgusted with me and him for putting Parsons down. I'm one of the people that like Parsons and think he can make a difference on the defense. I really do. But so I wouldn't be mad at it. But I would tell you, a lot of our fan base would.
They would.
A lot of them would.
If you would have asked me that question a couple weeks ago, I would say possibly. But now with losing Sean Lee, no, I wouldn't be upset. Like I said, I want people that can, when we're talking about 10, especially, I want people that's gonna come right in and make maybe not a major contribution, but is on the field. And certain positions, I think we're not gonna be able to see them as much. Now, linebacker, don't get me wrong, Parsons would be on the field, but I don't think he would be on the field as much as if we got a cornerback or safety. Because those guys come right in and they're starting on the outside, or they're the starting safety. So those guys are there. Parsons would be there on maybe certain formations. And he's right, we do need better linebacker play. But at 10, I really want to try to come away with somebody that's going to be out there, like 70, 80% of the snaps, like Trayvon Diggs was. So I really hope one of them corners, I really hope we can get our hands on one of those corners, man. That would be the ideal scenario for me.
It would. And there's going to be some, I like the defensive depth in this draft. I really do. Day two, there's going to be that's part of the reasons why I can't get behind the whole you have to go defense at pick 10 crowd, because if Pitts is there, it's no doubt in my mind you take him, because
Yep.
For one, just the talent that he is. And then for two, I think Dalton Schultz has only got another year left. And Blake Jarwin's only got Blake Jarwin, I think he's got 2 years deal. He signed that 3 year. But my main two is the depth of defense and on day two. So that's one of the main reasons I would feel comfortable and okay with Pitts. But like we said, the guy's not going to be there, and I don't. As much as I like him, I don't want to trade up for him.
No,
because I'm not giving away those picks.
No, I'm not, because I mean, now the only way I would trade up for something like that is if Pitts separates you from winning a Super Bowl. If you feel like you're a Kyle Pitts away from winning a Super Bowl, sure, go get him. But you picked a Big 10 for a reason, and it wasn't just injuries. I get it. You had a banged up offensive line. You had, was it Terrence Steele and Brandon Knight as your tackles, and then you had a whole bunch of backups. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But this team is not a Kyle Pitts away from winning a Super Bowl. So with that being said, I wouldn't make the move. The only way I would draft Kyle Pitts is if he's sitting there at 10. And for the people that say, well, it has to be defense, had to be defensive. Well, if we would have done that, we wouldn't have got CeeDee Lamb last year. Right. You know what I mean? We would have reached for some kind of defensive talent who knows how that would have turned out. And then CeeDee Lamb probably would have been somewhere killing it. And you'd have been sitting there mad saying, well, why didn't we take CeeDee Lamb? He was sitting there. So sometimes it's damn if you do, damn if you don't. So you got to stick to your board. You got to stick to the scouting and everything. And if you got, like, the draft is to pick the best talent.
Mm-hmm.
Pick the best talent. You pick the best players. You figure out the rest later. You know what I'm saying? But don't get me wrong. Like, the quarterback's on the board with us just re-signing Dak. You don't draft a quarterback. It has to make sense too. But and you said it earlier, like, you don't want to sit there at 10 and then reach on somebody just because you're desperate to fill a certain need. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, you're reaching and you're missing on all these guys. So yes, Dustin, I absolutely agree. Last year, what was it? What's the defensive end that came out of LSU? Chase on.
That's who they were going to take. That's who they were going to take.
That's who they were going to take.
There. Yes.
That's
he was
an exact scenario right there. Yeah, that's the reason right there why you take that player. Because if they would have taken him and let CeeDee Lamb walk with the season that Chase on had, there would have been a bunch of pissed off Cowboy fans. I guarantee you, because Chase on didn't do shit.
Yeah,
and CeeDee Lamb was putting up numbers from the slot with second and third string quarterbacks.
Yeah, defense was the need, and thank God they went BPA, because I was sitting there when he actually hit 17. I was about to start throwing up because I was just like, they're gonna pass on him, and I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry myself to sleep. Thank God they took him. See, yes. I told you, Marcus. I told you.
Oh man, thank you. I'm just a Cowboy fan, man. I'm just a Cowboy fan that, just like Lambo, I try to do my research, and sometimes I may talk a little crazy, sometimes I may say something that makes some sense, man. But thank you. I truly appreciate that, my brother.
But going back to the what's his name said, if the corners are there and they take Parsons,
yeah,
it's kind of cool you said that, because we actually have this right here.
Yes.
And I think that there is that chance that it could come down to these three dudes. That's very possible.
Oh, look at Parsons though, man.
4.39. Your linebacker is running a 4.3.
That's tough. Now sometimes we can't get enamored by speed, because we done seen some guys that got a ton of speed but can't play a lick. Mm-hmm. But I see, as linebacker, I gotta go back and look at some more tape. You know what? That's what I'm gonna do tonight. I'm gonna look at some more tape on Parsons, because when it comes to linebacker, I want to see how your instincts are. I want to see if you see something, are you making your move and you're going? You know what I mean? Because that's what you got to have. When you got 4.39 speed and then you're just seeing the play and you're going without any kind of hesitation, okay, then we can talk about your Big 10. But if there's some hiccups and stuff like that, man, that can make all the difference in the NFL. That little hiccup, the next thing you know, somebody got their hands on you, you're not going nowhere.
Yeah.
With that speed, you got to be able to see it and go. If he's that kind of player, I would love to have him at 10. I'll change it to like. I would love to have him at 10. If he's a read and react player and see it and go and not wait like Jalen does and want to tackle people 10 yards down the field, then let's talk.
And then everybody's like talks about all the tackles he had, but yeah, like you said, I mean, if you're watching the game religiously like we do, you know that those ain't all positive tackles.
No, they're not. And I love Jalen's energy because even though he'll get up, he'll swipe and all.
Yeah.
I get all
and
that.
He's a great person.
I want to see those before they reach that 10 yards, not after they reach and you're chasing them. I need to see. And I don't know if he's still
coverage and then picking up the tackle after.
Right. You know.
So yeah, I hate to pass on the cornerback, but yeah, man.
Parsons is a true game changer. Yeah.
You know, this is the first draft, so I'm usually really good at least getting a couple of the picks each year. Unfortunately, the years that I got a few of those picks, it wasn't big enough for anybody to actually see it and me brag about it. But there was a couple years ago, I landed like 4 guys that I was pure luck, really. But I think it was. Oh, I see what he's laughing at. Philly 500.
Yo, I watched the videos. I watched the reaction videos after the Cowboys picked CeeDee Lamb of the Philly fans.
Hilarious.
Greatest thing ever. If you haven't seen the reaction videos, I highly suggest everybody go to YouTube and look at the Eagle reaction videos when the Cowboys pick CeeDee Lamb. They literally have a meltdown. And somebody was literally just staring at nothing for like 30 seconds, just like this.
Yeah.
Just staring, you know what I'm saying? And they were, you know, it's always fun to see them go through hell. They deserve it.
Yeah, they do. They still deserve it for Michael Irvin.
Yeah, man.
I'm always going to feel that way.
But I'm like, what are y'all angry about? Like, they're the only fans that you could go to their city and wear something that's not theirs, and they'll be pissed off about it. Like, you can go to any other city and wear a rival, and fans will be cool. But if you go to Philly, you can't wear that. Like, yo, what are you so angry about?
I think
you mad because out of 190 years, you got one Super Bowl.
The weather sucks. I don't know what it is up there, but like, man,
it is what it is, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this, because you know what? And I want y'all opinions in the chat too. Let me take a swing.
Man, I had something too, and I lost.
So let's say that both corners do go. You know what I mean? And we end up drafting a corner, maybe second or third round. Let's say we get one. Free agency is back. Do you sign a veteran free agent like Casey Hayward, or there's AJ Bouye? I want to say is still out there.
I feel like he signed. Maybe I could be wrong. I could be wrong though.
So let's say Bouye is. Let's just say he is gone. They still got some veteran corners that are out there. They got, I want to say about
Sherman's
3 or 4
out there. Got some.
Yeah.
Although,
if you lose out on one of those, do you go and sign a veteran corner? Maybe like Richard Sherman, because he's got ties with Dan Quinn.
I could see that. Maybe. He might need to backpedal on some of the stuff he said about Jerry, but I could see something like that. Maybe they think that will help a guy like Reggie Robinson grow, to bring in a one year guy like Sherman, and see what he can do with Reggie Robinson, who's got the size, who's got the athletic ability, but just needs to learn the game better or learn the position better. I could see that. I do feel very confident they're going away with the cornerback in the first 2 days, though. I do.
Yeah. Me too. But I feel like if you don't come away with one and pick 10, and you feeling, you come away with guys that you feel kind of good about, but not as good. I would look at I would look at getting into a corner. You know what I mean? New England trading their star corner because he's Freddie Gilmore. I can see it happening on draft day. Would I trade for him? No.
I wouldn't, because of the money he's going to warrant.
Right.
He's got 1 year left on his deal, I believe. And he ain't gonna want a cheap contract. He's gonna want
Yes.
a big contract.
Yeah. And
We can't
that
give a
would be
big
the reason why we win, because we're strapped for cash. After that like we're paying a lot of people mad money. You know what I'm saying? We're paying Tank mad money. We're paying Jalen a lot of money. We're paying Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, Dak Prescott just got a big contract. Zeke just got a big contract. Damn, Amari Cooper just got a big. So it's like, okay, you got to figure out how you're going to figure out the rest of this with the limited cap that you're going to have. So for Gilmore, I like his skills, love him. It was all pro corner, but at that price, no. I would see what maybe a guy like Casey Hayward is talking about. See if maybe we can do a maybe 1 year, $3 million deal, $3.5 million, something along those lines. But somebody like Gilmore wouldn't take a deal like that, and you're taking on his contract if you trade for him anyways. So I couldn't do that. Give me somebody 1 year, $3 million, $3.5 million. If you kick the tires on everybody, you can find somebody decent that'll come to you for that price.
Yeah. Man, I'm gonna give J Tuck a few more minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give him a few more minutes. He said about 10 minutes. It's been about probably like 18, 19 minutes. But
he might be rolling on. I hate to say, it might be rolling on black people time. Sometimes we might tell you 10, and we pop up in 25 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So if you say 10 minutes, give a man maybe like 25. You might have to do that sometimes, man. That's
he gonna get me killed my wife. I was like, yeah, man, I'm just gonna hop on and do a quick 30, 45 minute show. I promise.
She ain't no whole party was about to go down, man. I had a lot of stuff I wanted to talk about. Sorry, wifey, forgive me. I haven't talked to Lambo in a while, so tell you, wife, I apologize.
It's probably been years. So I'm turning 36 next month.
Ooh. Nah, don't worry, man. I'll be 35 July 8th.
See, you're a year younger because I failed 6th grade at Brandon at middle.
Hey, it ain't nothing. I can't even really tell, man. I can't tell you. You still look like Macklemore, man.
Everybody says that, man.
Look like Macklemore.
I had some photos that I put side by side, and it looked just like Macklemore.
See, 31. See, we all around that age group, so it's one of those things. It beats the alternative, man. I kind of, getting old kind of has its perks.
It does. You finally mature in the mind to get your shit straight. Like it took me way too long to get my priorities in order.
They say sometimes it takes men a little longer because we just want to go out there and just have fun for a good little while.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And just do what we do, and then we want to settle down. So that's just how it is sometimes. Yes, thrift shopping. Yes, that's what we do. Dustin, we've been doing that for the past couple of years, brother. And it's so frustrating sometimes, but that's how the Cowboys operate. Do I hate it? Yes, but
yeah.
What can you do?
Oh, I need to check this out. Brian Broaddus released 30 minutes ago his draft board.
53. I hope I make it there, my man.
So, okay. So like I was talking about earlier, well, his top 3 wide receivers in the draft, he's got his Jamar Chase, then Devontae Smith, and Jalen Waddle. I got Waddle ahead of Smith. Pitt's obviously number 1. His offensive tackles, he's got Penei Sewell and then Darashaw. And then he's actually got Slater listed as a guard, which is what we was just talking about earlier, where I said that me and Marcus feel like you could plug him in at guard, and he's an all-pro. Obviously, he's an ex-scout for the Cowboys, so he sees him as an all-pro guard too, apparently, because he's got him listed as a guard. And then Vera Tucker is the second guard on the board. He's got Fields as his second quarterback, so see, I'm there too. I feel like Fields is going to be – I would take Fields over Wilson. I'd take Fields over Lance. I'd take Fields over Jones. It's going to be wild if we see Fields slide. It might be kind of like a Deshaun Watson scenario all over again.
I will say I am intrigued by Zach Wilson. I'm
I am
very
too.
intrigued by
He's got a nice
Zach.
arm. He's got a nice arm.
Yep, and it seems like he's got that competitive edge. Like I love fiery players. You know what I mean?
Too.
I like players that show emotion and just fiery. And I feel like Zach Wilson's got that in him. Baker Mayfield,
yes,
had it in him. I want like Dak has got it in him. Like even when you see him flex and show some, I absolutely love it. You know what I mean? And I think Zach Wilson has got that in him. So if he does go to San Francisco, that might be interesting because I like Brandon Ayuk. And what if? Let me give you this. They were talking about this on ESPN. And I'll use Buffalo in this scenario too. Julio Jones. Remember how we were talking about he could possibly go?
Mm-hmm.
I could see him maybe going to one of those teams. Buffalo being number one. I would absolutely love to see him in Buffalo. I fell in love with Buffalo during the playoffs, just for their playoff run. Obviously, I'm a Cowboy fan.
With Diggs and Beasley.
Yes, Diggs, Beasley, and Julio, and then you got your two running backs. Josh Allen has been playing better every single year. He went from turning the ball over to maybe 10 interceptions last year. So he was probably the most improved player on the field in the entire NFL last year. So if you give them that, and their defense is good too with Edmonds, and they got the young boy Davis White. They got the safeties Jordan Poyer. And then they got Ed Oliver. They drafted Ed Oliver. So they got
I remember I wanted Ed Oliver in that draft. I wanted him.
He's one of those game changers. And when we played Buffalo, he made some plays. We just played Buffalo and they beat the dog shit out of us. But he made some plays, Ed Oliver. So he's one of those guys that you're gonna see like go from the next, go from here to the next level. He's gonna be a star.
Why is my computer plugged in, but it ain't charging? That is not good. That is not good because I got
Leroy Glover. My man's dropping gems. Man, what y'all know about Leroy Glover? See, we going back.
Going back to Talbot High School.
Yep. He said Leroy Glover was the best thrift shopping that we've done in forever. Yeah, absolutely. But the problem with that is those hits are so far in between with us finding those good hits for cheap. They're so far in between that it's frustrating. You know what I mean? Like we may get a good hit for a year, like Ken Hamlin. When we had him and then he went to the Pro Bowl for 1 year and he got that big old contract from there. He didn't do anything after that.
Yeah. Ken Hamlin.
Yep. Old meathead. That's what I used to call him, old strong neck. But he was good for the season that he went to the to the Pro Bowl. But I think a big problem that we have is that I think we fall in love too much with our own talent. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Like Jeff Heath, for example. Heath, he's okay, but to me, he's a special team. He's not a starter. He went to the Raiders, played, I think he wasn't even starting, then ended up filling in, and now I think they got somebody to replace him just after one season. But he was able to hold our starting safety position down for 5 or 6 years?
Yeah.
Orlando Scandrick. He went to Philly, and they got rid of him immediately. You know what I'm saying? With the Kansas City, they got rid of him immediately. But we held on to him for 10 years, 11 years?
For a long time.
Right. So it's like sometimes you got to say, okay, sometimes you got to take your feelings out and say, okay, what do we have here with the player? Is he getting the job done? Yes or no? No. Okay, let's find somebody that can. They may be the best person in the world. I get it. And Tyrone Crawford, he seems like he's a great teammate, but the contract that he had was ridiculous, bro. Contract that he had was ridiculous. He was getting paid like a Pro Bowl player. I love Terrence Crawford. Well, no, I'm sorry. Tyrone Crawford, not Terrence. I'm thinking about boxing. But I love Tyrone Crawford, but that contract was it was too much.
Tyrone Crawford, man, we had begged to cut him the past like 2 or 3 years. I don't know. I don't even understand how the man stayed on the roster as long as he did.
Falling in love with our own talent too much, man. And then sometimes when you get rid of these people, you're like, yes, dog, finally. You know what I mean?
I hear you. Let me send this real quick here. Let's see. Check in, see if he's coming on or not.
My man said, are you coming on or not? Because I'm not a local. He was overpaid for the bingo. My point exactly. You produce 1 year, Jerry falls in love with you and gives you a ridiculous contract, and then we're stuck. We're stuck with him for the next couple of years of mediocre play. And I love these guys, man. Don't get me wrong. No disrespect to these guys when they've been on their game. Hey, I've loved watching them play, but sometimes you got to be real with yourself. Sometimes you got to be real with yourself and say, okay, maybe I missed the boat on this player. Maybe this player isn't what I thought he was. And accept the fact that you're wrong.
Oh man, he's on he's still going. He's still live right now on the show.
Okay.
He said, give me 10 at 10:15, 10:43.
What is he saying now?
He said they want to keep going. How long are you going to be on for? So yeah, he might be stuck over there doing that show.
I mean, I done put the little one to bed. Y'all see what I'm dealing with. So when I hop off this, I'm going to Madden. So I'm chilling for the night.
Shoot, I would do it all night if I wasn't in the bedroom. At some point, my wife's gonna be like,
yeah, she's gonna be like, all right, it's time to. And then when wifey says it's time to shut it down, and then when the lights go off, that's it. So if we abruptly leave chat, hey, wifey said time to shut it down.
Man, let's see if I can work here. Oh, I guarantee about half of the Cowboys Nation right now is refreshing their Twitter feeds nonstop, just looking for new tidbits. I know that's what I'm doing. The whole time we've been talking, I'm just like refresh.
I'm looking, but I know nothing's really gonna pop off until the draft. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking for rumors and
unless you get that
smoke screens.
Unless you get one of them damn Laramie Tunzel situations, or something crazy happens, and everybody's like, "What?"
Yeah,
well, he's gonna slide.
and the thing is, that came out on draft day, didn't it? Didn't that whole smoking thing with the mask? Didn't that come out like on draft day or like?
Yeah, that's messed up. You know they held on to that. We need Pitts to be caught on tape punching a security guard or something.
Something like that. That would be nice. And then later on, and then eventually after the Cowboys pick him, you're like, oh yeah, it was false. You know what I mean? You had to let him fall and say, okay, yeah, it was false.
Yeah, we need Jerry needs to work some magic. He can orchestrate it, make it look real. Yeah, we were looking at Pitts and we drafted him.
He already said though, he was like, let's not be stupid here. Let's not be stupid here with our needs. And then he did, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he said that. He said that.
He was like, let's not be stupid here. And you know how he is. I'm sitting here, I'm like,
and Steven was talking and yeah. And you know,
I'm like, Jerry, spit it out, man. Say what you gotta say.
Like,
I love Jerry.
I love Jerry Jones. I'm like, we got a lot of fan base that hates our owner. I am actually a big Jerry Jones fan. I love him because he's passionate about the team, so I respect that. Like, he loves the team 100%. And
the thing I like about Jerry is he stands behind his players a lot. You know what I mean? He does. Randy Gregory is a prime example. Like a lot of coaches would have cut Randy Gregory a long time ago. People say, "Well, he held on because of production." Whatever. I don't even fucking care about all that. He literally has stuck by this man, and there have been numerous players that if you say something bad about Jerry Jones, they will go to bat for him. You know what I'm saying? Like guys like Darren Woodson, Michael Irvin, when he's talking, he's foaming at the mouth and everything like that, saying good things about Jerry. Emmitt Smith, they love him. You know what I'm saying? So one thing Jerry Jones does love is his players. You know what I'm saying? Anytime a player signs a big contract, he'll have a whole fucking press conference for him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I do love the fact that he loves his players, but sometimes I think his involvement hurts. Sometimes when he gets too involved, it hurts the team. You know what I'm saying? Like Jerry Jones he needs to just sit back, chill, and let Will and Steven do their thing. You know what I mean? Because Will and Steven are the reason why we didn't take Johnny Manziel and took Zach Martin instead. They're the reason why we didn't take Paxton Lynch. We took Dak Prescott. Those are two huge examples right there.
Yep.
So
Josh Brent, he's talking about Brent right here in the DUI killing.
Yeah.
Yep. Brent.
He truly, absolutely. Yep.
Stuck by
Josh
his
Brent.
side.
So Jerry, that's one thing you can say about Jerry. He absolutely loves his player.
Yeah. The only thing I wish is that if he truly doesn't feel like, I don't know, like there was no need to come out and say, yeah, we're not going to worry about, we don't need to be worrying about needs. I'm like, man, don't give it away. Don't give it away.
He needs to keep his damn mouth shut sometimes. That's why I say when he gets too involved, that's when it becomes a problem. Like
if Pitts was going to slide, well, he ain't getting to 10 now because people know that Jerry's going to pull that trigger when he's saying lines like, oh, we don't need to be worried about need. Like that just gives it away. If Pitts is there, he's taking him. So obviously if somebody wants him, they're going to jump right up at 9.
But also, I mean, Jerry Jones, I'm sure Jerry Jones ain't the only one that has a love for Pitts in that top 10. It's just that some of them other general managers probably doing a better job of not showing it as much. And Jerry Jones tried to backtrack a little bit and saying no about his love for Pitts, but you can't help but be in love with the kid. The kid's awesome, but with his talent, if you look at him, his route running ability, his speed, and his wingspan. That's what a lot of people don't talk about, though. His wingspan and catch radius is ridiculous, bro. So that's somebody that can run that fast. And with that kind of catch radius, he's not going to last that long. He will not be. He won't be a pick 10. There's no way.
I forgot the exact number. I want to say it was the biggest wingspan of any tight end or wide receiver in the last 20 years or something among those lines.
It's some unheard of.
He is Megatron at tight end. Like he's got that skill set. Like he can play wide receiver, and he's basically Megatron when you line him up out wide. He's fast. He's giant. His wingspan is huge. His hands are great.
Yep.
And that man is he's incredible.
Yep.
It is scary. It is scary. I'll admit. Thanks, Milton, so much for tuning in.
Hey,
please come back.
Appreciate you, my brother. Have a good day at work, man. Do your thing, brother. Earn that money, man.
Yep. But damn, what was I saying? That's my ADD. That's why I was not good at school.
Hey, it happens all the time to me too, man. All the time.
What in the world was we hitting on Pitts, right?
Pitts, yeah, we were talking about Pitts.
Yeah, it does worry me. Tight ends do worry me because it seems like. Then again, I don't know. This is a different breed. This isn't your. Oh well, the top guy's OJ Howard, or the top guy's Cole Kmet or something, or like this is different. This feels different. He's obviously different. He's a different breed. Vernon, I guess it could be kind of compared to Vernon Davis did come out with this kind of hype a little bit, and he didn't necessarily pan out to the same potential as what we thought. We thought he's Hall of Fame caliber type potential.
Yeah, he had some Pro Bowls.
Yeah, he was solid. He was good.
He got blasted by Cam Chancellor on that sideline, though, boy. He did Seattle. He tried to go up for that catch and then got.
Yeah, but I do think Pitts is a better talent than Vernon Davis coming out.
Yeah.
So that's saying a lot.
Kittle. Yeah, I like yeah. Better, I would say a better version of George Kittle, because George Kittle does a good job at the top of his routes. If you notice, like once he gets to the top of his routes, he does an excellent job of breaking his routes off.
Yeah.
Pitts does the exact same thing. Once he gets to the top of the routes, DBs go one way, he goes the other way.
And just so you know, Jack, I didn't mean Vernon Davis in the NFL. I meant Vernon Davis coming out of college. Like coming out of college, he had that hype. He was a top 10 tight end, which is rare. Vernon Davis was picked in that top 10. So Pitts has got that same kind of hype coming out. Vernon Davis wasn't necessarily the type level pro of a Kelsey or Kittle. I agree. And I think Pitts can be that level. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm sorry, y'all. J Tuck ain't going to be able to join. His show kind of ran over a little bit longer. But
it's draft eve, man. It's draft eve, so there's a lot to talk about. People up late, you know, because we've been waiting on the draft. No, I've been waiting on the draft since the season ended. You know what I'm saying? So we've been waiting on this day for months. So Cowboy fans, hey man, along with the rest of the NFL, this is the first football that we had in a while. So, you know, Cowboy fans, we doing this. I'm pretty sure every other team got some kind of podcast popping off about what they want their team to do. It's just football fever, man. You know what I mean? There's a lot to talk about, especially Cowboy, you know, Cowboy Nation, man. The Draft Wise party. Do they want the team back? Do they want us back? If they want us back, we'll do it again, man.
Yeah, we'll definitely do it again.
This was a one-off for me, but if y'all want the boy back, I'll come back to y'all now. I come back for the people.
You know it.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a man of the people. I've always been.
I'm weird about day one draft. I don't go live day one. I know all the other podcasters and stuff do, and it's smart to do it, but I'm like so zoned in. I love to just enjoy it and focus and relax. So I probably won't do nothing day one, but I got something coming up day one, but it's before the draft. But day two, I'm down to do the actual live watch party. Day two, rounds 2 and 3.
You know what? Round one wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't be bad. Or maybe we can do something after the first day, because we can talk about who's left on the board. We can say, okay, after the first day, we still got bing, 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 all these people. And, you know, we pick early in the second round too. So we can sit here and we can go through who's available and go from there. So there's a lot that we can talk about after day one.
So tomorrow, I'm going to be hopping in with the United Kingdom guys, the UK Dallas Cowboys TV. And I'm honestly surprised that I'm even getting brought on this junk, because
don't say that, man. Don't say that. You Lambo, man. Hey, you've been putting in. Hey, let me tell you something real quick, man. You've been putting in work just like everybody else has. So the reason why you're there is because of the work that you put in. They respect the work that you put in, and they want your opinion. So don't sell yourself short, bro. You are there for a reason. They respect you for a reason, brother. Go in there and say, you know what? Let's talk some Cowboys football, man. So yeah, dog, you in there for a reason, dog.
So tomorrow, shoot, they're literally doing. I don't even know if this has been done before, but they're doing a 24-hour all-day draft show starting from midnight tonight, going all the way to midnight the next night. And I mean, they're gonna have Drew Pearson on. They're gonna have Kyle Yeomans from DallasCowboys.com, Brad Sham, Brian Broaddus, Mike Fisher. I mean, Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones' son, vice president of the Dallas Cowboys. Stephen Jones is gonna be coming on the show before me, like a couple hours before me, and I'm like, damn. I ain't gonna be on there at the same time, but I feel honored to be in the same damn show after Stephen Jones.
Just be yourself, bro.
Rob Phillips, Derek Eagleton, Mickey Spagnola, Dave Hellman, Meg Murray, RJ Ochoa, one of the Cowboys flag runner Steven Cruz. And then I'll be on at 5:15 with Cammie Griffin from USA Today. And then Jay Tuck comes on actually right after me. Yes, it's crazy, man. It's gonna be lit.
You up there with a lot of good names, man. I heard everybody except my boy Fish. I don't know if you said Fish, but Fish is really
Fish is gonna be on there too. Yeah,
you up there with everybody. So you in there now. You were in the door essentially. Congratulations, my brother. Congratulations.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun. But hopefully,
Yeah, man.
like I said, me and Marcus planned. Well, I don't know if we will. If we do, I'll let you know for sure. We'd love to have you on. We plan on doing something day 2, maybe around round 2 and 3, possibly.
Yeah. Hit me,
So
man.
yeah, it's fun. Last year, I was live with like 5 or 6 people, man, and we had a blast when Neville Gallimore got picked. We was all stoked about that. So
I absolutely love that pick. I love that pick. I love that pick and the Bradley and I pick.
yeah,
And I don't know why he still hasn't seen the field.
yeah. Same
Damn it.
reason. I don't make no sense. I mean, wasting time kicking tires on Durant Armstrong a little too long.
Him and Reggie Robinson, like neither one
Yeah.
of them. Like Cowboy fans were literally on Twitter. It's like, when we gonna see Bradley and I? We're at a point where we're not going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
Where's Anad? Where's Robinson? Where's Bernard? Like, I would have liked to seen them guys the last couple of games of the season.
right, and even if they can't play, at least you know that. At least you know that, and then you can say, okay, I can go to the next season knowing that these guys can play or can't play or whatever the case may be. But they didn't even see the field. You still don't know what you have.
Give them a chance to earn to get some reps. Like that little bit of experience will tremendously build a dude's confidence going into the next year. Also, I mean, their confidence could maybe right here. It could have been up here if they would have. I mean, you don't know. You gave Robinson a chance. He comes away with the pick week 17. All of a sudden, he's going into the season thinking highly of himself. That motivation.
And then you never know. Like, let's just say you give Reggie Robinson some reps during that time frame. Like, once you find out you're not going to the playoffs, let's just say, okay, Francis Bernard, Reggie Robinson, Gifford, and all that stuff. Y'all not gonna start, but we gonna rotate y'all in there. I want to see what y'all got. And let's just say Reggie Robinson does something. You know what I mean? Let's just say maybe he's not the best, but let's just say he's a decent player. And then let's just say maybe that cornerback need that you have, it's not as high anymore. You're like, okay, I got Jordan Lewis, I got Reggie Robinson. We can make this work. I can go somewhere else now. But you don't even know that. You ain't even let him get on the field. Even if he gets cooked 3 plays in a row, at least I know, okay, it's like, okay, he got cooked. He's not ready yet.
Yeah.
But you didn't even try. You didn't even try like that.
And that's the problem they had with Neville Gallimore that pissed me and Marcus off that we talked about. Because, I mean, the first, I can't remember many weeks it was, but I know it was a good amount of weeks that he wasn't on the field the first 4 or 5 weeks or so of the season. And we were like, why can't we see Gallimore? Like, Crawford's trash, obviously. Hill actually was showing something before his injury, which I am happy about. But Gallimore wasn't seeing the field, and I'm like, why? And they were talking about I can't remember, there's some excuse about learning the plays or understanding the play, but that is one of the easiest positions on the field.
Mm-hmm.
There's not much to it, man.
Right.
And when they put him in there, he looked good. And we're like, okay, what took you so long to put this guy in? He looked good. And they kept him in.
And the thing is, these kids have to, we're in the middle of a pandemic. You know what I mean? So these kids, they didn't have a chance to have the normalcy as far as my man Dustin. Appreciate you tuning in, my brother. But these kids, they didn't have the normal walkthroughs and everything like that everybody else has. So this season, them learning on the job, I gave them as much. I'll give them this whole first season as slack. Like, this season was different than any other season in NFL history. So I'm the rookies from last season, I'm pretty much saying this season, I don't give a shit about.
Yeah.
When it comes to y'all, because y'all are just getting here and what y'all going through is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is with Gallimore, this is my frustration with Reggie Robinson, the Reggie Robinson situation. Gallimore got better. When he played, he got better. Next thing you know, he was making plays in the backfield and he was starting to get it. He was gaining the experience. So I'm like, okay, if it's the case with him and he's getting better, why can't we, like you said, just throw some people out there and see what he do? Put Luke Gifford next to LVE real quick on a player or two. Let's see what happens. Or put Francis Bernard out there next to Jalen and let's see what happens. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Throw Reggie Robinson out there in the slot. Let's see how he reacts to certain situations. But some things I don't understand that they do, bro. It's frustrating sometimes, because as a fan, you're like, you want certain things, but you just can't get them.
I'm with you, man. And as much as I hate to in this party. It's about that time.
I know, man. I know.
I'm like 5 years in, gotta pee. Girl needs to go to bed. So like, but hey, it was awesome catching up for one with you, man, because like we go way back to College Park Elementary. I mean, so and also, like Marcus said, we need to have you on again very soon. Hopefully, like ASAP. So I mean, day 2 of the draft, possibly. We'll see. Definitely, probably day 2. I'm gonna say because I just want to talk about everything, see what's going on, but and thank everybody again for tuning in. But just let them know, where they can find you at with your boxing page and all that stuff, man. Before we get out of here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, and I'm on Instagram. It's Your Boxing Fix, so it's all one word. Your Boxing Fix, and I had a blast tonight, man. So, with if it's all right, and somebody said in the chat, my man Jack said for sure, like to see me back. So, with blessings from y'all, if at any point you need a extra little opinion or somebody to talk a little trash or whatever, I'd love to come up here and just talk some football, with some people that think like me and the great fans that we got that are tuning in now. It's been awesome. I appreciate you. So yeah, man, I'm down.
It took me back to the lunch table, man, because like we used to have these same type conversations back at Tallwood High School and Brandon Middle School, man, and it was always these in-depth, like everybody knows their stuff football talk. So it was good catching up and talking that stuff. We'll definitely have you back on.
Appreciate you, my man.
And everybody, you can find me at Cowboys Y'all on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Patreon. On Instagram, I'm Cowboys Y'all 88. As you see at the bottom, Bluff City Cowboys, my co-host Marcus, he's not here today. Keep him in your prayers. He's got some personal matters going on, but definitely follow him as well at Bluff City Cowboys on all social media. And I don't know how to do all the fancy, awesome, cool outro music and stuff. The brain of operation, Marcus, usually does that for me. So this will be a quick transition out of here, y'all. But I really do appreciate y'all. Thanks, Dustin. Thanks, Lamar. And hey, good luck tomorrow, y'all. Hopefully we end up with the guys we want, man. So
y'all be safe, man.
I'll see y'all later.